There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up and welcome into episode number 70 of the Program Guys Podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberger. Today is Thursday, May 11th. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram page, Program Guys with a Z. Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. Gentlemen, we are back 5 deep with the boys. We are rolling. How we doing? Matt Gann, how we doing?
Took a little vacation, feel relaxed and rejuvenated. I listened to last week's pod. You guys did a phenomenal job. Patrick was Circle the Hertzbergers.
Mm-hmm.
He might be coming for my job. I'm gonna have to watch out. I'm gonna have to really bring this episode.
Dude, I got a DM. I got a DM on Twitter the other day. I mean, I was only going to bring it up until right now. It was from Kevin L. Sellers. OU recent hiring missed. Wrestling, the two coaches after Jack Spates haven't gotten it done. So that was from Kevin Sellers. Shout out Kevin Sellers for the DM.
Hey, thank you, Kevin Sellers.
Yeah, follow us all on Twitter, by the way. You guys can see our Twitter handles on this graphic that is up right now. So check that out. Patrick, how you doing out west?
Good. I was just thinking our last record was last Monday, so 9 days from now. Or it was 9 days ago. And we don't have a ton of OU news the last 9 days from a football perspective.
Not a lot. Pretty
quiet. I think it's their I think everybody got to go home or take vacation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for college recruiting, this is a quiet week, I believe. At least on some sports fronts. It may not be for football, but I know on
I saw
women's
Levy,
basketball and stuff, like you can't talk.
I think Levy was in Waxahachie yesterday or something like that. I saw that on Twitter.
Gotcha.
So
who knows? But all right, Mark, Ryan, how you living?
we're good, baby.
Love that.
Just trying to survive work.
Yeah.
But that's every single week. So, yeah. Other than that,
good,
happy to see you guys.
Yeah.
Just
happy everybody's back.
Work, but that's every single week. So,
that's
how happy to see you guys.
It's just real original, Mark.
That's how we do that. Let's go ahead and move on to some news. Like Patrick said, not a whole lot going on, but we can talk about it regardless. There's a little bit happening. Connor Neer coming in from the transfer portal. He's a linebacker, all-American linebacker at that from Division II. We won't worry about that. National champion at Ferris State. He's 6'2", 236. Picked OU over Georgia Tech, Duke, Michigan State, Cincinnati, and Texas Tech. So look, that's just depth. That's depth. You're not going to be upset at a 6'2", 236 guy coming in. He's played some big-time football. Look, you can say what you want about Division II, but if you're an All-American and a national champion, you're the best of the best that Division II has to offer. The fact that he wanted to go to OU, massive. Very, very good news for the Sooners.
There's great talent in Division II, but just, didn't get picked up at the right time or missed, or unlucky of some sort. So, this might be one of them, and he's making his switch over. I like it.
There's an article out of the Lansing State Journal talking about this transfer, because I guess Ferris State is close to Lansing in Michigan. Okay. And the article goes, Neer wasn't worried about the bells and whistles of a major program. As he put it, quote, "I've been around the block in college football," unquote. He wanted to talk shop with the coaches, including Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables, one of the more respected defensive minds in the sport, to get a feel for their scheme and how they would use him. Here's where it gets interesting. The Sooners are a relatively young group defensively and at middle linebacker, and they told Neer they were looking for a steady, experienced hand and mind to put next to weak side linebacker Danny Stutzman. So they sold this kid on not just depth, on you're competing to take Jaren Kanic's spot. Yeah. That's interesting to me. Maybe it's just how you get a guy to come in the portal, but maybe it's also indicative of, hey, as athletic as Jaren Kanik is and as good as Kobe looked in the spring, we're still not satisfied with at that position. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Pat, you look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. He's coming in. He might have a chip on his shoulder because he is that D2 player, right? And secondly, you can really tell. I just watched some of this film. He's a coordinator out there. He's a very good communicator out there, and I think that is something that we need and that we may have been lacking a lot last season too. Is just someone who that Mark, that your statement reminded me of that because Brent Venables is probably sitting there with him looking at film or whatever he's doing, and if he's someone out there who wants to communicate, then he's perfect for this defense and probably will love the scheme.
If you're a little worried about Danny being able to communicate every call, this is something you do.
Yeah.
Matt Gam?
I think it's a big deal. I mean, this is BV's specialty group. So to go get a guy in D2 with this kind of experience, being a national championship, the accolades that this kid has, and especially what Mark just said, I think that just solidifies maybe how important this guy could be potentially to the defense, anchoring it down with Danny Stutzman and whoever else might step up, whether that's Canick, Kobe, some of those guys. So I think it's a really good move.
Competition breeds excellence, no matter what it is. So whether this guy's coming in to compete for a starting job and whether he wins it or not, and it's Jaren's job or Kobe's job or whoever it is, it's a good thing all around. It can't possibly be a bad thing. So
I was going to say, I don't think everything that we've seen, at least from this season, this coaching staff does not seem afraid to just put in the best talent that we have, the best talent and the best worker or whoever it might be, the best chance of winning they're going to go with. They don't seem like they have any ties to you've been here for so long and you have all this experience, but maybe the new person is better than you, but we're going to keep you in because you've been here for so long or whatever it may be. They seem like, no, we're going to put in the best people and you have to work for it. And you have to prove it to us that you're the best and you want to be out there. And, that's kind of the culture that they're building. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. So like you said, competition breeds excellence. So
there was a really great Miguel Chavis and just defensive line article or something out there where one of the linemen was quoted as saying, you look around, we're bringing in freshmen, we're bringing in transfers, and you kind of realize oh, it's getting hot in here. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what you're saying, Ryan, is they're going to hold these guys to a higher standard than we are. And if there's a chance to go get better, you go and get better. And they're going to take advantage of every avenue to do that. Early on, Brent was kind of, I don't really want to dabble in the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. And now it's become very clear that, hey, we want to put a Band-Aid on a position, we'll go grab a guy. We don't mind.
For sure.
I think it's more than just that, though. I think it's more than just a Band-Aid. I think it's, if we feel like this can make us better, we're going to do it. Like that in general. Would they go? I don't know if they went looking for this guy. I don't know if it just came about this way. I'm not exactly sure how naturally that happens when you're digging around in the transfer portal. But he probably saw this is talented. This person has a lot of experience. What could it hurt? Let's put him against some of these people and let him battle it out. Let him compete for it, and winner takes. And we are going to be better for it. And so I think that's a philosophy that's kind of been changing for Brent over the past year or so with the transfer portal specifically. But I think overall, he is looking for what is going to make the team better and is less concerned about how it makes the players feel. And that sounds bad, but I mean it in a positive way.
Can't be bad. Another guy coming in is Troy Everett, offensive lineman from Appalachian State, 6'3", 280, 3 years of eligibility left for the big dog. Redshirt freshman last year, allowed just 1 sack in 262 pass blocking snaps, playing 478 total snaps last season. So a lot of experience for that guy. Matt, to me, he seems kind of undersized right now. Sounds like he might need to put on some weight. What do you think?
A little undersized, but he is the number one transfer portal offensive lineman. So I think that's a huge deal considering that he's only played 1 year. So I think that's a huge deal for Bill Bedenbaugh in this offense. especially with what we know Bill has done. You guys talked about last week of OU being offensive line U. I mean, this is another guy that Bill Beambo can definitely get some weight on, mold for the offensive line that they truly need. Maybe another guy that DG can't see over or throw over, but I think this is another good move for the transfer portal, just adding some more depth to the offensive line when we just have truly no idea what the starting five or how he's going to mix it up. So I think it's definitely a good add.
Matt really hammering home the fact that he listened to the show last week. Patrick, what do you got, man?
Ask.
Yeah, we didn't ask. Hey,
I love it, Matt.
I love it too. Troy Everett beat Texas A&M last year with App State. He is ready for SEC football. I'm glad to have him.
Okay, he's not ready for SEC football. He's 280 pounds.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
A&M.
They ran for an insane 288 yards against. Oh, no, that was against North Carolina. Damn. Well, anyway, he played center last season, and I think that specifically is a very important thing. He's 6'3", 290. I guarantee you that's larger than Freed was. At center, you can get away with a little bit of a lack of size if you play with good leverage. And if Andrew Rame isn't able to start the season, and he didn't play in the spring, who knows if he's ready to start the season, then why not throw a body in there and see who can snap the ball and play?
Definitely.
I think it's a great idea.
It's
went exactly what Ryan's saying. We're not going to be content at all.
Yeah.
They rushed for 181 yards against A&M last year. So
dang.
Pretty good.
So does anybody pose this question? Does OU need to add anything else in the transfer portal before this season starts, or maybe even before the summer starts? Or is there a position that you feel as though right now could use a transfer portal boost? I don't necessarily know if I know of one off the top of my head. I mean, I guess you could always use more receivers, but I would take a receiver. Receivers and defensive backs, I feel like you never have too many. That could be something, but I don't know. Mark?
I actually just pulled up the 2023 college football transfer portal list out of 24/7 Sports, and sure, I guess all these dudes are 3-stars that are available. I mean, there's a couple 4-stars that are in there that haven't committed yet, but the pickings are slim. It's sort of, when we talked about this going into the outline today, I almost wanted to reject the premise because there's a reason those dudes are in the portal. And the guys that we identified at receiver, that's where I'm thinking especially. We already got Andrell Anthony. We already added to that room. We've got Jaquez Petaway coming in, and maybe Keon Brown. We'll see. Yep. We'll see about that one.
Yeah.
The other room will be tight end, but we've already brought in Blake Smith, and I think it's hard to sell another guy on the idea of coming in and playing when our starting 2 guys at that position are already transfers. Because Stogner is a transfer, Blake Smith is a transfer. I think it's hard to sell these guys on snaps when we already have such competition at the receiver and tight end positions. And I can't think of anywhere else, personally.
Matt, anything to add? Oh, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just going to say I would always take another offensive line, but I would assume there's not many available.
I think we got the good ones.
We got the good one already. But
Walter Rouse is so big.
Yeah, Walter Rouse is massive.
Yeah, so literally, that's always. I think that is going to be my biggest question mark position wise, going into the year, obviously, because we haven't really seen what that's going to look like. So it's in the back of my brain, I'm more bodies will help no matter what. Yeah. But if it's if nothing's available, then nothing's available. So I would say that receiver probably would be my 2.
Matt.
Yeah, I was going to say receiver. I'm disappointed we missed out on the guy from Colorado. I think that would have been a really good addition to our room, especially with the year he had. So, yeah, I mean, wide receiver, I was just more disappointed in the spring game. I just didn't see anything pop out to me because we already know what Julio Farouk's going to bring. It's just who else is going to be with him.
Brennan Thompson also has committed to Oklahoma out of UT. I forgot to mention him as a guy who's come in. Him and Anthony both are supposed to be deep threat speedsters.
Yep.
I forgot about him.
Anything that?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I liked Mark's point of like they're in the transfer portal, so you always have to question that. But the two guys that we're bringing in or that we heard about this week are coming from like a D2 or an App State, so their stock has increased. Right, when you see a transfer portal guy coming in, maybe from Michigan and Andrew Anthony, like that's a question mark, right? He didn't make it there for a reason. So excited about the two that we're bringing in. I guess I would like to see some wide receiver depth too. I also think if Marcus Major and Javonte Barnes are going to be banged up this year, adding depth to the running back room wouldn't be a bad idea. But it doesn't seem like we've entertained that at all.
Yeah, I mean they might be okay with the guys they have ready to ride, but I agree. Guys get banged up in the backfield for certain. We've seen it year in and year out now. So
I think from a depth perceptive, there it is. I feel a little bit better about perspective. Got there. I actually feel a little bit better about the running back room than I did last year, even if I think the top level is not as sure. Like, you know what? Eric Gray, we were not sold on at the beginning of the year either. So
you guys really
maybe it was
weren't.
about hell yeah, Marcus Major RB1.
Yeah.
Let's get it. I have a lot more wrong takes than that. So
let's double down on Marcus.
You do,
Sticking
but
by.
it's doubled that, tripled down. It was great.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna see what happens this year. Okay.
Oh my God, I can't wait for the season. Oh my God.
But it's another one where I don't think you can promise guys snaps or even really opportunities at competition. We just have so many guys that they've promised scholarships to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I trust DeMarco Murray with my entire being. I don't know why. I just
ask Brennan Clay about doing that.
Yeah, that's true. And we have, I'm completely blanking on his name right now, our new wide receiver coach, Lord Almighty.
Emmett Jones.
Thank you. We have Emmett Jones coming in, and while we've heard great things and we're really excited about it, we haven't seen it yet. So I'm like, hey, wide receivers, that's where I think we need the most support, just in case. We never know what's going on. Running back, we could be banged up, but I do trust Murray to be able to handle that room.
Yeah, I think wide receiver, you have all those question marks, and getting more and more depth at the wide receiver position gives you the opportunity to just be like, hey, if you're not performing, we'll throw another dude in and give them a shot. Because you're right, Ryan. There's tons of question marks. We have a lot of guys in that wide receiver room with a lot of potential, but it's a lot of question marks too. It's a lot of guys who haven't done a ton. I mean, you have Drake Stoops, you have the guy, you have Jalil Farouk, you have guys coming back, of course, but the new names in there and the younger guys who have yet to get a whole lot of burn, who the hell knows? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see anything in the spring game that made me be like really happy with what the wide receiver room's doing. You know what I mean? So we'll find out. Go ahead, Mark, and then we'll move on.
Oh, I was actually going to
extend
this a little bit. All we've done is talk offense. So do you guys think there's a defensive position? Because I'll tell you what came to my head first was cornerback. But I think the fact that Jaden Davis has left tells me it's actually the other way around. They're much more confident in what they have on the other side of Woody than we are, just because they're so much more privy to how these guys have looked. Yeah. So a position didn't really come to mind for me, especially bringing in a linebacker with experience today or this week. What do y'all think? Is there somewhere you think we could bolster?
I don't know about bolster. I would say you can never have too much depth in the defensive back room, because those guys, I feel like, just always have some sort of bug or injury, or bug isn't the right word. Injury is more the right word. So you can never have enough depth over there. Matt, what do you got?
I've been bringing in Reggie Pearson and having Peyton Bowen come in, and those guys, I think, really helped solidify. So I think they've already addressed a lot of the offseason for the defensive side of the ball, especially defensive line, bringing in some guys. So Trace Ford and some of those. So I feel like pretty confident again. I know we've talked about this quite a bit before. I'm more confident in the defense going into this year than the offense, with the offense having a lot of question marks.
Yeah, I didn't think about the defense at all when that question was posed. However, I hope we can bring some more pressure to the quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, pressure's huge. Ryan,
I think I agree with everybody when I didn't think about the defense, and that's probably because what we saw in the spring game. It was defensive heavy, and we were like, oh yeah, we look really good on defense. We're fine. We're not going to know until we actually get on the field and see it. I think the only thing that I can think of, we just brought in another linebacker, but I'm like, with how the linebacker room looked last year, you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to step up to the plate. You never know who's going to be there when they need to be there. You never know how Danny Stutzman is going to play. You could have in the background more people, to just more bodies to be there, because I know that was kind of an issue last year in some places, but they've addressed that through the transfer portal already. And you can't have a million of them because people won't stay if they're not going to play. So
let us know down below in the comments if you have any position you think OU needs bolstered in the transfer portal before the summer and fall begins. We read every single one of your comments. Helps us out more than you know. Just commenting down below. Subscribe while you're there as well if you haven't already. Some other recruit news. Young guy, Michael Hawkins. You may have heard of him. MVP of the Dallas-Fort Worth Rivals camp this past week. Kevin Sperry was also in attendance. So the question is posed to the boys now. We saw Jackson Arnold last year start out as a 4-star, climb his way up towards the end of the year after getting all those summer camp MVPs and performing so well in those summer camps, earned a 5th star. How do we feel about Michael Hawkins, the young guy, perhaps earning a 5th star as well?
So I'm going to jump in here first, just because I'm going to be completely honest, and I have no freaking idea how these stars are decided upon. I understand in general that it's a bold thing, but how someone goes from a 4-star to a 5-star is still confusing. So if someone could inform me, probably, who is more in tune to this, that would be fantastic. But I have no idea. It sounds great that he's the MVP of the DFW Rivals camp. How many camps are there? Probably a lot more than DFW. And will that get him to the 5th star? I don't know. I have no clue. So this is just me being honest and upfront, because I would really appreciate one of you guys to step in here more expertly than I can.
So he's, in terms of composite, 24/7 composite is where I'm looking right now. He's the 17th ranked quarterback nationally. Yeah, I just don't know if he can get there. I mean, unless
what does getting there mean though? What does he need to get to? Is it top 10? Is it top 9? Is it?
I honestly think it's top 5.
Top 5.
I don't think they hand those 5 stars out willy-nilly like that. And I mean, last year's class, I mean, who? So you had Arch Manning, you had Jackson, you had how many other? There was maybe 2 more that were 5-star quarterbacks.
Malachi.
Yeah. You probably have to fact check me on that. But Matt, go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the scoring all works, but I don't think he's as highly rated as Jackson Arnold was, even at a 4-star. So I'd be pretty surprised if he was going to jump to a 5-star. He would have to do quite a bit in his final season, as well as, I mean, what propelled Jackson Arnold was also going to these camps, getting MVPs. So it's definitely a good start. I think he's already too far behind where Jackson Arnold was.
Yeah.
I think it's a good start too. The more I think about it, I feel like he's going to be great for us. And I just have this feeling.
I love it.
I love when you have a feeling, man.
I love when Matt's just yeah.
I love when you have a feeling.
Good vibes with this guy.
Positive vibe, Patrick. That's what I call it.
I was just looking him up again this week and saw that he was 192 pounds already. I was like, God, he's built for this. He could do this. The potential is there.
How tall is he?
6'2".
And he's 192 pounds, and you think that's built for it?
He needs
to start.
He just throw 20 pounds on.
No,
He's a good
I agree
start.
with Pat. It's a
Strong
start.
Bryce-
Mark
Bryce
is
Young
coming in
is-
to take
No, I mean
positive back.
Bryce Young's like
down
10
a
pounds
peg.
lighter today. I don't think Bryce
Right.
Young's 190.
We're not
Bryce
doing
Young.
this.
No,
I'm not
no.
comparing him to Bryce Young. I'm just saying like he doesn't need to add 20 more pounds.
Just did.
I'm just saying he doesn't need to add 20 more pounds to be good.
No, he doesn't. But part of why I don't think he gets to that 5th star is because he probably does need to add like 20 pounds, right? Jackson Arnold is a bigger dude,
He is.
and it looks a little weird, right? It doesn't look great
It does
on
look weird.
Jackson.
Yeah.
But to Mason's point earlier, I'm on 247 Sports again, and Malachi Nelson is the last 5-star quarterback at number 5 in the class. And then there's a bunch of other dudes down here that are 4 stars that didn't quite make it to 5, right? I think that's probably going to be where we land with Michael Hawkins. That doesn't mean that he can't turn into something great.
Yeah.
I've seen him throw the ball. He looks awesome throwing the football. And all it takes is a little bit of development and an injury to Jackson Arnold, and all of a sudden you're relying on Michael Hawkins to do some stuff with the football. So I think that maybe he's not a 5-star. I don't think he ever gets that 5th star, but that doesn't take away from the value he provides.
As of now, there are 4 composite 5 stars on 247's website. Dylan Raiola, who's committed to Georgia or strongly leaning towards Georgia. Julian Sayin, 5-star committed to Alabama. DJ Lagway committed to Florida. Jaden Davis committed to Michigan. So those are the 4 consensus 5 stars right now.
Gotta
Now,
love that.
can that
3
change?
of those are in the SEC, and that's where we're going.
Yeah, but I mean, Florida just had Anthony Richardson, and they're a dumpster fire. They don't know what
That's
they're doing
true.
down there. They're lost.
I wonder if there's good reporting out there on why OU dropped out of the Lagway race in favor of Hawkins. Hawkins has a little brother, similar to how Peyton Bowen did, so maybe they're looking at it like a 2-for-1.
Mhm.
Maybe.
But
Hawkins' best friend is not best friend, but went to the same high school as
Tight end, right?
the tight end
Devon Mitchell,
Mhm.
Devon
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yep.
Yeah.
2025, who
I mean-
seems like he's not going to reclass now. It
Oh, he's
seemed
not?
like for a minute like he was.
Oh.
Truly, the only thing that makes me say that is I haven't seen it happen. And I was listening to Unofficial 40, and Josh McQuiston listed him as a 25 guy and like building the 25 class. So maybe
I don't think that's good for us.
But-
yeah, I'd rather he be 24. Get him in the building.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know down below in the comments what do you think about what we've been talking about so far. Michael Hawkins, 5-star. No, let us know. Odds to win the Big 12 championship in 2023, according to FanDuel. Number 1. Any guesses?
Are we shocked?
No. It's
Not shocked at
Texas.
all.
And look, this is something that has developed in me, like paying more attention to like what Mark says and stuff like this. Texas at plus
sweet.
Texas at plus on betting, I should say, because usually sometimes it's not like
I was like,
Don't
wait a minute. Where
qualify
did
it.
Okay.
Don't qualify
I listen to
it.
Mark
This is great.
a lot. Okay, so Texas at plus 115. That's a bet that they're just trying to get people to bet Texas. So when they eventually lose, you make a lot of money because someone's going to throw $500 at Texas plus 115 or an astronomical crazy number at Texas plus 115 and lose 5 weeks into the season when they can't figure out what the hell they're doing and they switch to Arch Manning. Something like that. It's what it is every year. And I mean, I'm not mad about it anymore. I don't care. I know the game. So I get what we're doing here. But like, it's just funny how other people see that and they're like, "Whoa, Texas is them. Texas is that team." And really, no, they're just trying to take your money, is what it is. Anybody else?
No, you want to read the rest of the list before
You
we
go
dive
ahead,
in?
Pat. Read it off.
Okay. Great. All right. All right. Odds to win the Big 12 championship. Texas plus 115, then Oklahoma plus 330. After Oklahoma's Kansas State, then Texas Tech. That's kind of a hot take. TCU, Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, UCF, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Houston, then BYU last.
It's a big jump from Kansas State plus 470 to Texas Tech plus 1200. So it's a big jump there.
Yeah.
Matt, anything jump out to you right there?
Kansas State being pretty high. I'm not sure who they all have returning. I guess just because they had such a good season last year, but I think we all know from Mark's betting classes that we've been taking why Texas is up there. We do this every single year, so it's understandably so why they're up there. I've seen a lot of hype around Texas. Again, we do this all in the off season, so I'm actually surprised OU's not a little bit closer, but again, that's just how betting works, so I'm not going to be too mad about it. Plus, if they want the hype around Texas to go into the season, kind of let Oklahoma cruise a little bit in the background, I'd rather that more than anything.
No faith in the newbies to come out on top. You got Cincinnati plus 5,000, Houston plus 8,000, BYU plus 10,000, UCF plus 5,000. So ye of little faith for the new blood, Ryan Tyson.
Yeah. This might be a hot take. I don't know. I'm actually surprised OU is second here.
Well, yeah.
We just had a 6-7 season, guys. And we added in some talent, but to win the Big 12, I know that it's Oklahoma, it's the brand name, everything like that. I am surprised. I'm not surprised about Texas because that happens every year and it's whatever. I'm surprised Kansas State.
Exactly.
They're doing to us what they do to Texas.
And maybe I'm just not used to it, but especially because I'm not used to coming off a 6-7 season. So it's hey, we don't deserve to be at that spot because we, haven't shown anything. I'm not shocked about Kansas State being third. I'm a little surprised. I know TCU lost a little people, but I'm a little surprised they have Tech above TCU. I think that's interesting. But it's whatever. I mean, these are betting odds. It's early. Who knows what's going to happen? I think the only thing we do know is Texas will not win the Big 12 championship. So,
yeah, Mark.
Yeah, the fun thing is it really is just rinse and repeat with this Texas thing. I feel like we could just set this podcast out every single year. Here's a quote from everyone's favorite former college football coach, Urban Meyer. Quote, "It's hard to say Texas doesn't have the best roster in college football right now." Close quote.
I can't wait until
I love it. I love it so much. You start to see these early 2024 mock NFL drafts, right? Because we just had the NFL draft. And guess who's the third quarterback taken in all of them?
Oh, no.
Win yours, baby.
No.
Love it. What I really wish I could do, and I don't think there's a book out there that would take it, is look, I think Oklahoma is going to win the Big 12, right? But what I'd love is if they could just give me that Texas plus 115 and then the field on the other side. And what I would do is I would go to the bank and I would ask for as much money as they would possibly loan me, right? And then I would go to my mortgage company and I would take the entire mortgage, right? And I'm going to take my dogs. I'm going to take them to just whoever. Let's leverage these things.
Yeah.
All of it on the field. All of it on the
all
field.
Your assets.
Because they will never, ever get there. They will never reach the top. Quinn's not the guy. Sark's not the guy. Maybe Malik Murphy is the guy and they're just sitting him on the bench, but they're doing that because they're freaking Texas and they get in their own way. And maybe they do have the best roster in college football right now, but they never, ever know what to do with that roster and they always mess it up. How many guys that have been 5 stars that went to Texas got drafted in the first round of the NFL draft the last 10 years? 0. 0. How many college football championships have they won over that spread of time? 0. They're so bad. Hey, how many Big 12s have they won?
This is a very
big
one. I think
this is a big
fair enough
Mason moment right here.
No, Mark's crushing it.
I think the last one they won was 2009. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Did Ellinger not win it the year that they were bad?
No,
they didn't.
Because we were in the
they got a
playoffs,
Sugar
right?
Bowl.
Playoffs.
Yeah, they got They got a
They
Sugar
haven't
Bowl.
won one in ever.
14
man.
years.
They're consistently garbage, and we do this rigmarole every single season. I don't have anything else on the odds.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's there because of quarterback.
Patrick, real quick before we move on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about Urban Meyer's quote. Alabama might not be Alabama this year, but we'll see real quick how good that Texas team is, or if they're any good at all
In Tuscaloosa?
when they go to Tuscaloosa.
Urban Meyer's got a co-ed down in Austin. He's not fooling nobody. I know what he's doing. He's trying to like text her after and be like, "Did you see what I said
Awesome.
about that? You see that? Freaking Urban scumbag Meyer." All right, top 25 for college football following spring practices per CBS Sports. Man, we are in the dog days right here, boys.
Right.
Top 25, Georgia number 1, Michigan at 2 is surprising to me.
Some of these other ones are bonkers.
Yeah,
to me,
Ohio State 3, Penn State 4, Washington 5, Alabama 6, Florida State 7. I'm looking OU at 25. We'll just get that out of the way.
Can someone explain Washington at 5 to me?
No,
like, please. Like
I don't know. I don't know how
understand.
Washington. I don't know how Washington's 5, but USC is everybody's favorite darling, and they're 13.
And Utah's 14, and it's like what happened in Washington?
And Oregon's 11
that we don't know about.
Yeah, Oregon's
So
11.
in all those same 24 mock drafts, there's like 4 Huskies that are getting mocked in the first round
Okay.
from Washington.
Okay.
So that I don't know these guys. I don't know the Pac-12 like that. Why would I? But
No one does.
That's kind of what's going on there.
Okay. So they're thinking they just have the talent because of the draft, like the draft, like what kind of draft calibers their players are going to have. Okay. This list is ridiculous.
Well, I also find it interesting that Florida State is so high at 7 and we're 25 when we played them extremely well in that bowl game.
They have a really good quarterback.
Everyone came back for Florida State.
Yeah.
The quarterback, the receiver,
Yeah.
and the defensive end who was mocked in the top 15 last year.
Yeah. I'm less mad about that one.
Oh, dude, I was
I'm
so
I'm not mad about anything.
ready.
But
I was so ready for because this is the first time I'm seeing this list. I was so ready for Colorado to be like 20 and just like wildness, just looking for clicks. Matt Gann, anything to add?
Nothing really stands out to me. It's way too early on. I'm sure some guy just threw a list together and put all these teams in. I don't really hold anything to this list. It's going to dramatically change by the fall.
Yeah, I mean, Oregon State at 15. When's the last time Oregon State was relevant in anything?
what is this?
Oregon State's there
Pac-12
because the
going
Clemson
on. I'm so confused.
Because of Clemson, what, Pat?
the Clemson quarterback transferred to Oregon State and they're returning
DJ's
like
there.
all of their defense. And their defense was incredible last year. So people are high on them.
Yeah, but DJ can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Well, yeah, that's true. But he's
Okay.
coming with the Clemson name. So
All right, hey, as long as
They have 5 Pac-12 teams in the top 15.
yeah, pretty well.
A third of it is Pac-12. That's weird.
Guys, come on. Can we just
I know. Yeah.
That's
All right,
weird.
This is
let's
the worst.
let's go ahead and let's circle those wagons. Matt Gann, welcome back. Patrick, any pointers for Matt before he gets started?
I did text Matt earlier because I just wanted to make sure that he covered the softball news correctly. And it came out like a couple hours ago. And then he said,
Yep.
"Do you just want to take my job from now on?" You did great last week. And I said, "No."
You did. I mean, all true things. That's the only reason. So, Pat, anytime that I miss something or you need to pop in,
I'll let you know.
feel free to let me in. So I'll go ahead and start with softball. Coming off their last season sweep of Oklahoma State, beating them 8-3, 4-2, and 5-1. Just want to highlight, I know we were all talking about it, especially Patrick and Tyson, was the second game where OU was down 2-0 in the last inning. And we came back again, just like we did with Baylor earlier this year, and came out swinging, even though the OSU pitcher was absolutely dealing and we weren't getting any hits. We still had 3 outs, and the game's not over till then. Proved them wrong again with a couple big hits from Tiara Jennings and Jaden Coleman, and ended up winning that game 4-2, and then coming back the next day for the closeout 5-1. So ending the year with a 42-game win streak or 41-game win streak, which is
Unbelievable.
one of the longest in NCAA history. Oklahoma holds the records for 40-plus win streaks, 4 years that we've done that. So only other team to do that was Arizona back in 1995. So that just tells you the pure dominance of OU softball. They've also won 171 out of the last 179 games. Just let that sink in for a moment. 171 out of 179 games. That is absolutely, truly remarkable. So since they completed the regular season, they will enter the Big 12 tourney as the number 1 seed, and they will either play the winner of Baylor and Iowa State, and this will be played up in Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. Some other news, I know Patrick had mentioned it as well. So a lot of Big 12 or end of the regular season awards were given. So Patty Gasso, Big 12 co-coach of the year. I'm not sure who was the other one. I think it was OSU's coach. Jaden Coleman got Big 12 player of the year. Jordy Ball was the Big 12 pitcher of the year, and Grace Lyons was the unanimous Big 12 defensive player of the year. And Patrick, do you want to read off the list of the first team for Big 12? Because I know you
got it.
Up and running.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and do it for you. So Patrick gave me the list of players who received all-time or the first team for the Big 12. So we had 7 Sooners, which set a record all-time for a 12-player format since 2013, or when it came about in 2013. The first team was Jordan Ball, Jada Coleman, Kinsey Hansen, Tiara Jennings, Haley Lee, Grace Lyons, and Nicole May. And Alex Storacro got second team, and she, in the Oklahoma State series, got her career 1,000th strikeout as well. So
how was she not first team? Didn't she get taken first in the draft?
She did in multiple drafts. There was another draft that came out just a couple days ago. She didn't get drafted number 1, but she was also drafted in that.
Okay.
I think that just tells you.
I love Jordy.
Jordy and Nicole May. I mean, Nicole May is having an All-American season. There's no doubt. I definitely put her first team. I guess there's probably just not enough room because these 3 pitchers could easily be all 3 All-Americans if they allowed that. But just shows you the remarkable feat. And even the Oklahoma State game, they brought in the freshman Kirsten Deal to close out that game. So that just shows you the depth of the pitching staff has been truly incredible. So hopefully they can win the Big 12 crown, because they did not win it last year, even though they ended up winning the World Series. But let's see if they can go out with a Big 12 season tourney win. So that is
one thing
softball.
One thing on softball, Patty Gasso getting co-coach of the year. I feel like we just have to, there has to be a co-coach of the year every year, because Patty Gasso can't win it every single year. So they're just like, well, it's gonna be Patty and someone else. I don't know.
No, this is absurd. I'm sorry,
It's
Ryan.
stupid.
It's so absurd.
It's dumb.
What has that Baylor coach done that comes close to 42 straight
They
victories?
beat Oklahoma. They were the only one.
One win over
that is the
Oklahoma
only thing
gets
that I
you
get
that
you
title.
Also,
no, I'm not going
sorry,
at you.
Ryan.
I'm just saying it's
This
wild.
is not. I don't.
Well,
I didn't even know the Baylor coach won.
Sick'em T out here.
Sick'em T.
They beat them once at the beginning of the season, and then got waxed
I know.
3 straight times.
But I guess no one else was able to do that. So they were like, hey, co-coach of the year.
Wow. Okay.
There you have it. Well, a lot of Big 12 honors, and hopefully they can continue their hot season heading into the Big 12 tourney and beyond. Oklahoma's women's tennis also participated in their Big 12 tourney. They beat Baylor the first round 4-2, Iowa State 4-3, and then they continue to lose every time they get to a championship. They play their red rival in Texas, losing the championship 4-2, but they do advance to the regionals where they beat Hawaii 4-0, and then just recently beat Washington to advance to the super regionals, where they will play number 3 in the nation, Georgia, this upcoming weekend. So good luck to the Lady Sooners. Over to men's tennis, who also competed in the Big 12 tourney, beating Baylor in the first round 4-3, losing to Texas in the second round. Made it to regionals. They played NC State, beat them first round, but ended up losing to number 6 Georgia men 4-1 to end their season. They finished 15-12 overall. really the last two, men's golf, after winning their second back-to-back, which I know Patrick mentioned last week when he was taking over for me, they will host the NCAA regionals back in Norman at Jimmy Austin this upcoming Monday through Thursday, I believe. I think it's over 3 or 4 days. So they'll be hosting some teams coming in as they continue to make their run to the NCAA championships. OU's men's baseball recently losing a series against West Virginia. They lost 9-3, 9-3, and won the second game 6-3. Overall, they are 26-22, and they will play an upcoming series against Gonzaga. I didn't even realize Gonzaga had a baseball team. I only thought they had a basketball team, to be frank. I don't know about you guys. I only know Mark Few, and that's about it. So that is Circle the Wagons. I hope I compared myself to Patrick. Patrick, you absolutely killed it last week. I'm so proud of you, buddy.
Too nice.
Great job, Matt.
Matt, let me tell you,
All
you sounded tall.
Yeah. You sounded great, Gan. Can I add one thing?
You can.
Quickly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this past week, the OU came out like officially said we're moving to the SEC in 2024. It was signed off by, all the people who need to sign off on it. But we are not, and Gan, correct me here, we are not going to the SEC in men's gymnastics or wrestling. We are staying in the Big 12 for those two because those teams, the SEC doesn't really have those sports, or a lot of the teams in the SEC don't.
Yeah, I'll double check. There are a few that won't transfer over to the SEC, so I'll double check and get back to you on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right, though, Ryan.
That's
all right,
just
so
us winning the deal again.
all right, so let's do this really, really quickly. A little bit of an NBA update right here. 76ers beat the Boston Celtics last night, or I should say Tuesday night in Boston. They're up 3-2 in that series. And then the Denver Nuggets are up 3-2 against the Phoenix Suns. They won last night on Tuesday night. So they are up 3-2. As of the games going on, as we're recording this right now, Heat are up 3-1, Lakers up 3-1. Anything from those series that stick out to you guys really, really quickly before we get to Ryan?
Who are the Knicks playing again? The Heat?
Yeah, the Heat.
Yeah, I didn't even know that series was going on because it's just boring and no one knows those players except for Jimmy Butler. At least an average basketball fan. Also, I think
smoking
the
hot
Warriors
takes coming in.
I think the Warriors are going to beat the Lakers. That's all I've got.
They're going to come back from
They're gonna come back.
3-1 down.
Never
100%.
happened.
100%.
Never happened against the
Pat,
Bucks.
That's fine.
odds.
LeBron's
Let's
old.
talk.
He's lost.
Let's talk. What do you want to set this at, buddy?
A lot.
A
Yeah,
lot.
that's what I would think too. Say it with your wallet or don't say it at all. And my thing was going to be, I think that the Lakers are actually going to go into Golden State and close it out tonight. I think that LeBron has kind of figured out what he needs to do. I think Steph is really the only consistent threat on offense that the Warriors have, and the Lakers have kind of figured that out. Maybe Clay has it, and if Clay has it, you got to watch out for him. But otherwise, I'm not really sure. Elsewhere, the Nuggets and the Suns, that series has been incredible. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Been really, really good.
Fun.
I
know Pat is not a big fan of the Heat. I think the Heat coming from a play-in game and potentially going to the Eastern Conference Finals is pretty impressive. About to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, really. Yeah. So that's super impressive to me. So well-coached team, and that's exciting. We've had excited, that's why we have the play-in games, right? Because of this. And I think that's cool. So
the Celtics are a fraudulent basketball team.
I'm sorry, Mason.
Joe Mazzulla has zero business being on the sideline for an NBA team in any decision-making capacity. He doesn't know when to take timeouts. He doesn't know how to draw up game-ending plays. He doesn't know how to defend a simple pick and roll two-man game from James Harden and Joel Embiid. That's literally all Joel Embiid did to score all of his 33 points the other night. He's really, really good. I'm not saying anything bad about Joel Embiid because he has other stuff in his game, but that's the only way he was scoring, and you refuse to do anything to stop it. Jason Tatum scores 36, and you still lose by. You were never in the game. You were down single digits, maybe twice. So I don't know. Celtics go back to Philadelphia. Philadelphia's trying to close it out, go to their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2001, I believe. So, yeah, I think the Celtics are dead. I think they're deader than dead.
I didn't realize the timeout thing that you were talking about with the Celtics until this past game that I was watching.
Yeah,
and I
I
was
know.
like, why is he not taking a timeout?
Because he's an idiot.
Because he's a moron. This doesn't make any sense. Like, the momentum is really bad right now. Like,
I've never seen someone not want to be a head coach in the NBA more than Joe Mazzulla. It's just shocking. Go ahead, Mark.
It continues to get back to my point that the only thing really in the way of this Celtics team is Ime Udoka's absolute thirst for married women.
It's amazing.
And the fact that he just put that above the development and winning culture he was trying to build in Boston and was doing a good job of. I just hope that he stays away from the Fertittas. That's all, because that's the biggest loss any team suffered this year was losing Ime Udoka, I think.
Yeah. Matt, anything to add before we move on?
No, I'm good. That was too good. I can't even speak.
Yeah,
He's crying.
I hate it. Okay, Ryan, give us something to watch real quick, brother. Let's go.
Yeah,
guys,
very quick.
We'll go quick. I'm so excited for this one because you guys are gonna think this is weird as hell. I'm very pumped. So everyone's already shaking their head. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about a TV show called Drops of God. And this is a TV show on Apple TV Plus. It just came out like 2-ish weeks ago. It is a French production. I'm getting back into my foreign land here. I just went to France. I felt inspired. It's a French production, but it is a French, English, Japanese show. So the plot of this show, everyone is shaking their head on this camera. Everyone's just like,
so all of those languages are spoken in the show. That's what you mean when you say that. Okay. Yes. I needed the clarification.
Yes. It takes place across France, Tokyo, and English is spoken in between some of the characters, but it takes place between France and Tokyo. This is about the main character is a woman, a French woman whose father is like in this world the most impressive like wine connoisseur in like the entire world, and he passes away, and they have had a very like tumultuous relationship. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but he leaves. He's got a wine collection it's the biggest private wine collection in the entire world, and it's worth like $150 million. And he basically puts in his will that he wants his daughter and his kind of prodigy of a student, like a wine student, to compete in a competition to see who will get the $150 million inheritance. So he's put together like tests and things along those lines. And guys, it's incredible. It's so cool. It's got so many things in it that I love. And it's weird, but it's also like kind of thrilling at the same time. It kind of turns into like a thriller, like who's actually going to win this. And it's going on right now. So only 4 episodes have been released. So only about half the season. But yes, it flips between French and Japanese and English. And it's a lot about, you learn a shit ton about wine. And just like all the different like aromas of wine and like how people taste it and like what it takes to be like a sommelier or whatever they're called. Like there's a lot into it, and it's so interesting, and no one is watching it, and I just needed to tell you guys about it because it's one of those shows that I think is it's one of those shows.
You go if you're watching on YouTube, you go, nobody's watching it, and Mark just goes, yeah. Just kind of, yeah, I can see what
it actually sounds quite interesting, but I feel like I already know the end, so I'm not going to watch it.
Okay, I do want to say,
come on, they fall in love.
No, that's not happening so far.
They're drinking a lot of wine.
Well, no, but like
they're
They're
rivals.
cleansing
I could get
palates,
into this,
you know
but
what I
the
mean?
show starts with the daughter like not having spoken to her father in like 20 years because of like some very like traumatic stuff that like flashes back. She's like not able to drink alcohol at all, like because of a I won't spoil it, but there's a reason for that. And so you're like, how is she gonna actually like do this? Because it's like the tests are like drinking
just have to
wine
taste
and
it.
like tasting things and like picking up on like certain aromas and things like that. And so it plays it really interestingly, like how they go through that. So one thing to make it even weirder for you guys, this is all based on a Japanese manga that came out like 10 years ago.
Oh God,
And
I'm
has
I'm
just been
out, man.
translated into English like last year. It's fantastic. I'm like giddy over here.
Oh,
These
I
are
love
all
that
like
for
the
you.
these are all like the check boxes, it hits my heart, man. It's great.
Well, perfect.
So,
Thank you.
go watch it. Go be the second person to watch it, including me.
Yeah, good for you, Ryan. Good for you, Ryan. Go ahead.
One
Mark.
thing, just some commentary. If my parents constructed some sort of competition after their lives ended to determine who gets whatever's left,
Can I just
you're
jump
wrong.
in?
You're wrong to do that.
Not only
Make
that,
a decision. Make a decision before you go.
it sounds like
Right,
the
go.
guy is a professional som and she's just his daughter. That's like
But
you being a pro athlete in football and your other kid isn't, and then they
It's
have to go
true.
play a football competition.
I want you to race. Yeah,
Yeah,
true,
I want you
but,
to
like,
run.
yeah.
a race.
So
That's just
without-
it's silly.
like without spoiling anything,
The
like
misogyny is running deep here.
he worked with his daughter when his daughter was like very young on like doing all of this. So like
Okay.
she has a natural like ability because she is like his daughter too. And they're saying it's kind of like passed down, like the taste and the smell and all that kind of stuff. So like that's part of it. But they explain that, Patrick. They explain that
Totally.
kind of piece on like, okay, this doesn't make sense on why she would be able to compete with him. They make it make sense.
Context helps there.
Mhm.
I also, the last comment, I feel like $150 million of wine being the largest personal wine collection isn't that much.
It's like, I mean, what kind of
It's
wine
made
are you
up, Patrick.
drinking?
It's
Like,
made up.
Yeah, it's made
like,
up.
It's literally made up.
It's the
We can go to MVPs,
private.
I'm sorry.
Patrick calling someone with $150 million a brokey is pretty wild to me.
No, I'm just. That's not what
It's just like private collection. So
Yeah.
what I would imagine is
I know.
it's one person.
Yeah,
Like, I think like that's what they mean by that.
Gotcha.
One
I
person.
know. I think that's too low.
All right.
Okay,
Let's move on to our
it's-
PGP
it's-
MVPs of the week.
Unreal.
PGP MVPs of the week. Matt Gann, start with you.
That's right. Just a little bit over an hour ago, NBA released their first all NBA first team. My boy, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
God.
making
go again.
first team all with Luka, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid. So congrats to you, Mason, as well. But that is a huge honor for a team that was projected to win 23 games, and we ended up winning 40 plus, getting in the play-in. And the biggest reason why is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's not only on the offensive end, but what he does defensively. First team all NBA as Shea.
Love that. Mark.
Yeah, I'm going to go basketball as well, but I'm going to give mine to Nikola Jokic. I have historically not really been the biggest Jokic guy, but watching him in this series against the Suns is really turning things around for me. It doesn't really matter who's guarding him. He finds ways to get the ball in the basket or set someone else to get the ball in the basket. He doesn't look like the kind of athlete he is, and those are my favorite guys to watch. So, yeah, my PGP MVP, Nikola Jokic.
Love that. Patrick.
I went to the Astros against Angels last night, and I did so again in LA. I did so last year as well.
Anaheim.
Well, yeah, sure. I was trying to keep it simple. Every time Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve, Jose's hurt right now, but every single time they step up to the plate, the whole stadium boos the hell out of them. And it was 6-7 years ago now. MLB fans are something else, man. They're my MVP.
Love that. They're rowdy.
It wasn't even against the Angels.
Good turn
The
there.
Angels fans should be happy they beat the Dodgers, and they're still booing these guys.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
good point. Ryan,
the hate runs deep.
Yeah, I don't have a great one. So what I'm gonna
I
give,
didn't either. That's why I did that.
like, yeah. So I have been actually. I'm gonna go a little nerdy.
if
on
you
this
say
one.
another show, I'm gonna
I'm
freak
not gonna
out.
do a
All
show.
right.
I'm gonna
All
do a
right.
video game. Is
Stop
that
this
okay?
recording! I swear to God.
I'm gonna give it to a video game, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I've been playing it this past week. It has some bugs and stuff like that, but it's an incredibly good game. And I think that in this kind of gets into the show realm, Mason. So
No.
just cut off my mic. This is the best, other than Andor. This is the best Star Wars. Like, this story is the best Star Wars that they have delivered in years. So
Awesome.
I can't wait to play it and like just be like, yeah, it's fine. Cal's
Yeah.
fine. And hey, question: is the gameplay, like the combat, better than the first one? I saw that there's much more options to do.
Yep.
So
Yep.
sweet, love that.
Look.
Mason, round us out, baby. MVP.
My MVP this week is the German people. You know why it's the German people? Because
It's not their fault.
No, shut up. Shut the hell up. It's my
not their
time.
fault.
It's my time.
You're right. Go
the
ahead.
German people.
I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. Everybody knows this. Every 4 years is essentially my only opportunity to see my Miami Dolphins play a football game, because I'm not able to go to Miami and fly from Tulsa, Oklahoma to go see them. I'm not able to do a lot of the games they go to. The games I am able to drive to, when they go down to Dallas, play the Cowboys every 8 years, or when they go play the Chiefs in Kansas City every 4 years. This was the year that they were going to play the Kansas City Chiefs. And you know who loves the Miami Dolphins more than me, who's almost 31 years old and loved them my entire life? The goddamn German people. Good Lord, do those Krauts freaking love the freaking Miami Dolphins. So they get to enjoy my Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs play in Germany, and they won't understand what the literal hell is going on. And I don't get to
Patrick.
watch them in person.
Patrick's reaction is the best part of this.
Dude, it is
So,
silly. Like, it's
Roger
silly.
Goodell can. Oh, I want to say a lot of profanity at Roger Goodell right now. You're right, Patrick. It's not the German people, but they're not my enemy. But I will never forgive Roger Goodell for this.
This is a great point, though. This is a great point. They should only be able to do it in their division. Like, they should have division games abroad.
Sure. I don't care.
It's gonna
Just still make it the
adamant.
Chiefs game.
That's gonna make fans angry.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But all right, that's my MVP of the week, the German people. Let us know down below in the comments who your MVP of the week is. And we thank you so much for watching. Episode number 70 is in the books for the Program Guys podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. That's going to do it. We'll see y'all next week. Patrick, take us out.
Keep pushing, baby.
Say it in German, you scum.